Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Veteran Mountain Man on your Regulatory Tuesday, and today I'm actually going to be talking about the concept of Oregon Fish and Wildlife and the fact that they mandate licensing for children under the age of 13 for fishing. Hang on, let that sink in. That is correct. For under the age of 13, the state of Oregon requires these children to have licenses to put a hook in the water. Now, most of these kids are going to only be fishing under the supervision of an adult. And when a child is fishing, an adult needs to be present, and the adult should have a fishing license. Because if the adult doesn't, the kid shouldn't have a hook in the water. Now, besides that fact, this license doesn't cost any money. There's no fee for this license. But the child still has to have it, and have it on them. And I think that this is going a bit insane here. I mean, realistically, kids under the age of 13 are not going to be doing the bulk of sport fishing. Adults are going to be doing it. And it's quite a situation when you have to have an adult go get the child a fishing license for the child when they already need to have a license for themselves. And we're not talking like teenagers, because once they're over 13, there's actually a charge for the license until they're 18. When they're 18, they have to take an adult license. And we're not talking tags here either, people. There are fish tags that are completely separate. But this is just for the license for fishing. And this has gotten a bit insane. It's gotten to the point where you can't do anything in the outdoors without getting a piece of paper from the government first. And this kind of over-regulation is partially what has killed our outdoor activities in a lot of states. And so we realistically need to start pushing back and mandating that the government enforce reasonable regulations, because ODF&W's entire regulations listing is thicker than a copy of War and Peace. And when you start looking at it, some of this is completely and utterly insane. I mean, you have to have a different endorsement on your license to fish in the Columbia River Basin. And the Columbia River Basin doesn't just deal with the Columbian River. It's the Columbian River and the Willamette River and the Rogue River and a whole bunch of other places that some of these don't even connect. Yet you have to have that endorsement if you're going to be on that river. And if you're going to be in a lake in that area, you still have to have the endorsement, even if the lake doesn't feed the river. And that endorsement is a $10 endorsement on top of your license and on top of your tax. It's become a situation where they are stacking fee upon fee upon fee, and eventually it's going to get to the point where the average citizen cannot enjoy simple things such as sport fishing or hunting. And all they're going to be able to do is sit in their living room and watch someone else do it on a TV show on Animal Planet. And at which point we then have truly embraced the George Orwell classic 1984, where we are being controlled by the media, controlled by the government, controlled by how we are given information, and not allowed to go get it for ourselves. And that is a frightening, frightening concept. So, if your state has the same kind of crazy policies as the state of Oregon when it comes to this, it's time that you stand up and fight back. It is time that we start pushing back against these kind of crazy regulations and find a way to end it so that we can actually allow liberty-loving, freedom-loving Americans to live. Because I'm not talking about overfishing. I'm not talking about wanting to kill the salmon runs. I want these things to continue to exist. That is why I'm a conservative. That is why I'm a conservationist and not an environmentalist. I want these things to be there, and I want us to take advantage of them without destroying them. I want to use these resources in a renewable, sustainable way. And that's conservationism and conservatism in and of its nutshell. I don't want to pollute. I want to live in existence of balance. Well, thank you all for joining me on this episode for Regulatory Tuesday and Fish and Game Craziness. I hope you enjoyed the topic, and I hope you start investigating your own fish and game requirements if you don't already know them. I have a funny feeling a lot of my listeners do, and a lot of you are probably well versed in the insanity that your state does about this. If you want me to cover a specific state, please leave a link, leave a comment below and tell me which state you'd like me to take a look at their regulations, and even you can give me detailed regulations that I can start drawing attention to. Thank you all again, and have yourselves a wonderful day.